All right, let's get going. If there is anyone late joining, it's perfectly fine. I know you guys are all busy, but with that being said, let's get going. I'll just share my screen here. All right. So, um, welcome to this job teasing webinar. The theme today will be, as you know, own your career center. Today will be a more general introduction to all of the different modules that we have in job teaser, and will be a inspiration in terms of if you might have tried it, like you're a seasoned veteran already, there might be some tips and tricks for you. If you are a relatively new CC admin, so to speak, there will definitely be a lot of new stuff that you can do, and perhaps features that you weren't aware that is actually already possible in your setup today. So, as I previously said, my name is Troels. I am a senior university partnership manager coming to you from here in sunny Copenhagen today. I have the privilege of being in charge of the Danish, the Norwegian, and the Finnish market. So I'm primarily working with all of our lovely universities in the Nordics, except for from the Swedish ones. So I know you've already seen the agenda for today, but let's briefly just look at, okay, what are we going to go through? We're going to go through events, jobs, companies, event alert, talents, email campaigns. We're not going to go into the talent banks because there's some interesting stuff coming out regarding that in the new year. I will come back to that later on in the presentation. We'll go through the statistics, how you can sort of navigate that and use that. We're going to look at how you can sort of do these pre-registration campaigns if you haven't already tried that. We will have a quick browse of the front office as if you were a student. We will go through the new premium features that is already available and what is to come within the next couple of months from JobTeaser. And lastly, we will have a Q&A. Great. So let's jump into the back office. Hopefully you can all see my screen. If that's not the case, please let me know in the chat. I'll just double check that there isn't anything there. Wonderful. Great. So it's important to state that this is our test academy. It's because I don't want to showcase any of the university's data or users or anything here. So we are in a closed environment, which will be sort of visible to some degree. Sometimes we don't necessarily have the correct data since we don't have a lot of students or companies and so forth. But nonetheless, this gives us a great sort of way in terms of seeing, okay, the usability and what can I do as a career center admin. So first off, if we look at the events, you all probably know this here, but this is very, very easy to manage in terms of, I know you probably have a lot of career fairs, you have a lot of workshops and so forth. And you can see we already have some here from the test environment that we have in the test academy. And if I were a CC admin and I have a new event, it is very simply just press add up here. You can upload your picture. You probably have a banner. You can give it your title. You can even choose what event type it will be, which will be visible to the students. You can choose if it's on campus, if it's on some external site, if you're doing, for instance, a event with a company or with some external strategic partner, or you can do it online, all depending on what you want to do, so to speak. You can set up all the basic information in terms of when is the actual event, how long is it going to be. You can actually have it span for several days. If you, for instance, have a career fair that is actually going on for 2 days or even more. You can put in your description, you can add speakers, you can add your business partners, which is a really nice feature in terms of promoting those strategic partners of yours. So you can add them here. That will be sort of visible on the event for the students. And then you can sort of set up this configuration here. You can do the events without any registration. You can have it with an external website. So for instance, if you have a sign up page on your own institution's website, or you can do it via JobTeaser. And one thing that is great when you do it, the registration via JobTeaser, is that you will automatically have a QR code generated. So for instance, if you have a lot of, materials like on screens and print and whatnot, you get this really, really smart sort of QR code, which means that when the students sort of scans that, it will automatically have them sort of sign in, and you can watch some data on a daily basis in terms of how many attendees did we have, where were they from, and so forth. So that's a really, really nice feature, but you have to do it with the registration via JobTeaser. Otherwise, that QR code won't, naturally work because it has to be through us, so to speak. You can put in whatever the registration date should be in terms of like when they can actually sign up for this. There's a lot of universities who use the deadline, so a few days in advance, so you know how many will actually be there. And you can set up all of these different things. You can, for instance, set up questions, which I find really, really interesting in terms of, having the students being more engaged and being active rather than just say sign up. And you can do all sorts of things. You can do specific sort of messaging when they register. You can do specific text for when, like, what should actually be in the confirmation email or in the reminder emails if they need to prepare something. For instance, if it's a career fair, it's a good thing if they have their CV uploaded, stuff like that, And you can do all types of different targeting. So, for instance, you might have a event that is not necessarily for all, but for instance, let's say that it's specifically for engineers or people studying business. You can set up all of these specific criteria, so it's really, really targeted instead of just being for everyone. So that is basically the events. I'm not going to publish anything here, but if I had done that, and let's see, take this firm academy. If we all of a sudden saw, oh, we had one mistake or we need to edit something, you can simply press the actions button over here, and you can see the edit event will be up there. And then you can go in and do whatever necessary change that you want to do. And then when you've done that, it's simply press update the event and you're golden. So it's very, very easy to use. It's something that we see a lot of universities use because it is just, if the students are already looking for a job or an internship or something like that, of course they should also be interested in the events that you publish as well. So that was the events. Let's jump into the jobs. This is very easy as well. Since we are in our test academy, we don't have a lot of jobs pending or anything. But you can see that there is these four main tabs: the pending, the refused, the published, and the archived. So it makes sense that depending, of course, the ones who have not already be accepted. And as always, you can have two ways of accepting jobs. You can have a automated validation where they are just, based on our algorithms in terms of, okay, this looks like a fine post. It's not anything fraudulent or malicious or anything like that. It's good to go. Or you can do, as a lot of universities do as well, having it being manual, and for instance, have a student worker or someone in your career services actually going through the specific job post that is being published by university or by companies, and you can then accept them one by one. There is the refused ones, simply because, for instance, it's not a good fit for you, it's not something that should be relevant for your students, and so forth. You can always, of course, see the published ones, and you can sort of see it's there. And you can, of course, always see the archived jobs that have previously been available for students. If you want to sort of go through this data specifically just for the jobs, you can export the data. It's very, very easy. You just hit export data, you pick the specific time frame that you want to see, and you can actually here pick if you want to have all of the four different sort of tabs, the pending, rejected, published, and archived, instead of just the one that you are currently on. And it will be sent to you within a few minutes, more often than not. So that's really, really easy as well. And if you, for instance, had a job for your own team, you needed a student worker or something like that, you can always press add a job. And then you can simply put in the information here, press continue, and then you're good to go. So that's basically the jobs. Very, very easy module. I'm sure you already know it really well. So let's jump into the companies. The companies is where you can facilitate all of your companies related to your career center. You can see all of the ones that are already active. In this case, in our test environment, we have a lot. We have 1,525 active companies. We have 44 inactive companies. We have 73 companies that is specifically just made for this test academy. And this is where you can create, for instance, company pages for those strategic partners of yours that needs a bit more than just having a regular sort of setup. You can customize that with them there, or they can do it on their own, depending on how the relation is between the two of you. And you can actually also set up custom messages for each company. So if we just take an example here, let's take Data Labs, for instance. They have if we scroll down to the bottom, it's in French, my apologies, but they have this personalized message here, which will be sort of relevant for the students that are, for instance, applying for whatever jobs. So the sort of the companies tabs, it's very, very easy to use. Again, it's not something that you necessarily work with on a daily basis. It's more when you have those conversations with your external companies, or when you want to do some exporting based on the companies that are, publishing jobs with you or something similar like that. So very easy again. You can either pick, okay, should it be the companies, should it be the contacts that you want to export? And then you simply, for instance, pick the companies. And again, it will just be sent to your email directly. Let's jump into the event alert. So this here is basically the newsletter sort of format of JobTeaser, where you can go in and you can write these weekly messages that will be sent to your students. It's a good way to sort of have them go into either specific jobs, or you can have, for instance, like events. You can have all the stuff that you want in here. I wouldn't want to say it is primarily meant for the events, but you can actually use it for whatever you want. And this will be sent automatically every Monday at 6 o'clock in the morning or 10 o'clock, depending on where you are located. So very, very easy. You can customize it to whatever you want to do, and you can actually also reach out to your alumni. Again, whatever the topics should be, that's totally up to you. We just provide the means of getting in touch with them automatically here on a weekly basis. Let's jump into the talents, because the talents is one of the really, really cool new modules that we've recently released. And it has a bunch of different ways that you can use it depending on your need and sort of your goal with the actions. So you can use it for a lot of ways. Let's say, for instance, that you are a CC admin and you see that a lot of your students don't necessarily have any CV uploaded. So instead of having to reach out to them through like regular channels or anything, you can do it really, really quickly through the talents module here. What you will do is that you will just, for instance, say, okay, in the CV, they don't have any CV. Let's see how many of the 61 students in the test academy actually have a CV. Wow, not a lot. So we still have, in this case, 52 students that doesn't have a CV uploaded, something that we, of course, always encourage them to do, since it is just, one of the criteria for having a good student profile with JobTeaser. So what I do is just that I press this one little tab here in order to mark all of these 52 students. And I press this pop-up button here, send an email campaign. This will lead you specifically to one of 4 topics that we recommend or see that is the most common used. And in this case, we already have the CV update ready. So you just press this here. If that was the case, you press continue. And then you can choose whatever language you want to do. Currently, we support it automatically in French, German, or English. We can generate the campaign. And it just takes a few ready. Great. And now we can actually see that your campaign is ready. Go to email campaigns to view the details and configure the sending points. And then I just press manage the campaign. And I am redirected into the specific campaign here. Very, very easy. And all I got to do from here is just press send now, and they will automatically be redirected when pressing the CTA, called in this case, update my CV. So there's loads of different things you can do with the talent module. As you can see here, you can also, for instance, if you have an event, but it's only for specific students, let's say that it's only the ones studying arts, literature, and languages, if that was the case, we can see there's 8 students here. What we can do then is press again the one square here, showing the send an email campaign button, and then, for instance, press the event promotion. Then you'll be redirected into searching for the event here. And then simply you follow the same flow as we did previously, which means that it's just a very, very easy way to use, whatever you need in terms of communication, but you don't need to do a lot of filtering, or don't need to do a lot of things, because, it's very easy to just like use this plug and play depending on your needs and the stuff that you need to communicate. Great. So that is the talent module. This will be developed even more. By 2026, at some point, the users and the talent banks will actually also be merged into the talent module. So you will see some changes in terms of where you can see your students, since the talent is the tab that we are going to, or the module rather, that we are going to use going forward. Great. Let's jump into email campaigns. We were just here. Email campaigns are still good for like if you want to do just a dedicated campaign and you already have the specific list of students or whatever you want to do, rather than use the talent module. What you do is just if you want to send a new email, you can press create a campaign, and it just takes a few seconds. Great. In this case here, we can edit the campaign. We can give it a name. We can say new academic year, for instance. If we have a list of the specific students that we want to do it, we can upload that here. Otherwise, we can create a list of contacts, which is really, really easy to do. You just say, for instance, new students 2025, 2026. And then if you have it, for instance, in a CSV file, which is the most common use, you just upload that. You add the contacts, match the properties, and certify your list. So there's a bit more steps to use the email campaigns rather than use the talents module. But again, it all depends on what your needs is and what the specific communication want to be. One thing that I want to say is great with the email campaigns is that you can see the different statistics. So in here, you can see all of the email campaigns, all of the different communications that you've been sending your students throughout the whatever time span you want to do. In this case, it's set to default from the 1st of August 2024 to the 31st of August 2025. And in this case, we can see that we've sent, that's not a lot, but we've sent 30 emails in total, 100% opened, 16.67% click rate, 20% unsubscribed, and 0 was reported as spam. Of course, as always, you can download this data if you need it for internal purposes or different reporting methods. So it's very, very easy to also see the specific details related to whatever campaign you've done here. Very, very easy to use. Again, we also have some templates if you don't want to sort of reinvent the wheel. Again, depending on what you need, what's the purpose of the communication. And that is just under, of course, templates. You can do different types of segmentation, where you sort of, again, create a segment from scratch. You can fill in whatever you want to do here. Again, just want to let you know that the talents module will do this in a faster way. So again, depending on what you want to do and how your preferences are, I would recommend using the talents module for that specific one if you need to do all sorts of, specific filtering. That was the email campaigns. We can always get back to any questions. Remember that when we have the Q&A, if you want me to go into further detail. But let's look at the resources here. So the resources is basically your way of having a library, to put it in blunt terms. If we go to like this here is just, whatever content you want to have. There is different sort of ways of managing it. It's totally up to how you want to do it, what you think looks most like in terms of your regular communication and so forth. But this here doesn't like show us a lot, about, okay, how does this actually look? So if we go to display the homepage, we can see how it looks for the students. So in this case, you can see we haven't put in a lot because, again, this is just a test environment, so it doesn't make any sense for us to have a lot there. We have this very new article, CV 2021, where you can have these different, articles. Let's see what is in there. It's just a test, basically, and a video that we did a while back. So it's clear to say that, okay, we haven't put in a lot here, but you can have all sorts of different tabs. You can have all different kinds of communications. You can actually link into your own content on your own websites as well. So again, it's just a nice way for you to be able to sort of frame what do we want to do, where can we really have a very personalized touch on the JobTeaser platform for our students. And it is located for the students under the toolbox. And in this case, we've called it the knowledge center. There is also there's so many different ways of framing this. If you want a specific name for your resources or your knowledge center, you can always reach out to your success manager and they will happily set that up for you very, very easily. Great. Those are the resources. Let's jump to statistics. Great. So again, there isn't a lot to showcase here since we are in the test environment, but what you can basically do is that you can see that there is five overall tabs up here. There is the manage company partnerships. There is the explore student preferences and job ad supply. There is the activate your audience. There is measure the impact of events, and there is measure the impact of appointments. So if we go through them one by one, I'm not going to go into detail with every single one, but if we are in the managed company partnerships here, you can see there is three overall tabs here. There is the forge new partnerships. This is specifically intended for companies who either have a lot of job publications or a lot of traction with students, where you can see, we should perhaps give a bit more, we should reach out to this specific company because they have a lot of openings for our students and our students really apply a lot for their positions. So perhaps that could be a new strategic partnership that you weren't previously aware of. There is the assess the performance of your partner job ads. Those are the ones that are already partners of yours where you have given them the tag. You can see different sort of data here. You can see the funnel, and you would be able here to see which job ads are actually performing best in terms of getting application clicks, views, and display views as well. Under the assess the performance of your partner events, you can actually see if there is, let's say you have 10 partners and they each do, I don't know, two events yearly. You can actually see a lot of data here as well in terms of how they're performing, which one is the most successful, and which one is the types of best events in terms of is it organized by you or is it organized solely by the partner, and again which types of events will be the most interacted with the partners. So this is great data in terms of showcasing to your partners the value of them being able to create events through your JobTeaser setup. So again, you can see a lot of data usually here if you go into the statistics page. Unfortunately, there isn't a lot here since it is a test environment. But you get the incentive in terms of really using this data here proactively in terms of not only engaging with the company, but actually perhaps sort of strengthening the collaboration so they will do more with you and hence have more opportunities for your students. If we go through explore student preferences and job ad supply, you can see there is now 5 underlying tabs here. So there is analyze student search trends, analyze student preferences through the applications, analyze the seasonality of student interests, explore your job ad supply, and analyze student preferences through their profile. So this basically shows you normally when you have data like we don't have here though, how they actually search. Like what is the specific keyword that they're looking for? Is it perhaps student worker? Is it product manager? Whatever it might be, those keywords will be listed here. The trends like used, is there like some specific keywords that have just really risen like or raised in the whatever type period that you choose up here? Or have we actually seen a drop? For instance, did business analyst all of a sudden just really drop compared to previous years or whatever the case might be? You always, of course, have the opportunity to download the data really, really easily here. And one thing that I want to show that is actually pretty smart is that if I go into specifically here and set the job search date to, let's say we want to do some calculations based on the activity levels in 2025, you can put it in January 2025 and you can put in October 2025. If this is something that I want to see all the time, I can actually scroll all the way down until you think you can't scroll anymore. And you can see all of a sudden there is like this hidden normally line here where you can press save custom view. If you do that, you get this pop-up, save custom view, and you can name this view specifically, for instance, keywords trend 2025, and you can save that. So now you don't have to do all of these customizations in terms of dates picked and so forth. You can simply scroll down here, press this one here, view original. Now you can see we have the keywords one we just created, or we can have the top 10, which is the default, and go back to that. So you can set up all of these different specific views depending on what you need, instead of having to set it up every time that you need to go into specific sort of types of data that you need. If we go to the third one here, analyze the seasonality of student interests, you can see specifically what they're searching for in terms of specific jobs. You can see how they're applying. You can see the breakdown of apply clicks per month. You can actually see the number of page views per month and as is. And you can, of course, export the data of each. If you go to this one here called Explore Your Job Ad Supply, that is a really, really interesting one, because you can actually see, okay, how many job ads do we have? Where are they coming from specifically? How many were activated through the different months? Which one was it? Was it based on, like, if you see this geography, you will normally see a picture here where you can actually see, okay, we maybe think that a lot of our students, they only apply for jobs in Denmark, for instance, or in Copenhagen, if they were studying at a Danish university. Um, well, with this view here, you will actually be able to see all of the different countries where your students are applying. And most often than not, you will be surprised to see the amount of application being sent abroad. I recently had a conversation with a Danish university where we saw that there was actually 2 applicants for positions in Greenland, for instance, which is pretty cool. And you will have this world map where you can sort of see all of the different applications, just to sort of get an insight into, okay, maybe we should do more to promote the opportunity to actually go abroad. If you can see that there is a lot of applications being sent out of the country, so to speak. If we go through the student preferences through the profile, you will be able to see what they are searching for, basically. And again, apologies for not having any data here. You will be able to see it in your own career census with a really, really good amount of detail. And as always, you can export these views. So I don't want to go through the last one here, is because I really truly believe that, one of the best ways is to, learn by doing. So do this yourselves. And again, always, if you have any questions regarding this, we have a bunch of different articles regarding this in our help center. We have this nice little, the chat in here. If you haven't already tried that, this is based on our library of more than 800 articles specifically related to the sort of administration of the career center. So this here is your best friend if you are in need of an answer within a few seconds. It's pretty good. Um, One thing though I want to show you with the activate your audience is basically just to, like, right now you've had a lot of new students signing up or starting at your institution. You can actually monitor the account creations here, which is pretty interesting to see if you've had, let's say, 1 or 2 like events specifically for new students joining your institution. You can actually monitor, like, okay, when are they signing up? Did they sign up the day after we had this event? Did they sign up a few days after? Did they sign up 3 months after? You will be able to see that data here and sort of learn, okay, what could we actually do, either if things could be better, or if things are really, really looking well, you have a lot of new signups. Okay, let's do the same thing next year because clearly it had a good result. So that was a really, really quick introduction to the statistics page. We actually have we had a dedicated webinar for the statistics module when we released this new view last year. So if you don't already know it, you can always find that in our help center. Just if you search for our webinars, you will be able to see all of the previous recordings there with the dedicated one for our statistics module. Great. So let's jump on to the users. I won't go too much into detail with this one here because, as previously mentioned, this will be part of the talents module at some point in the future. One thing, though, I want to point out here is the pre-registered students tab over here. So in the top right corner, if you press that button here, you will be able to import a list. That list could be students, starting this academic year. It could be whatever types of students that you want to activate that don't already have a JobTeaser account. So it's very, very easy to do. All you have to do is upload a CSV file with the first name, the last name, and the email of that student. Then you can give it a name. So you can say, for instance, prereq 2025 autumn. You can say whatever language you want to pick here. Let's go with English for now. And you can have optimal languages here if you need it. And here you can basically say, okay, let's start this Monday next week. So what this shows you here is that, of course, the email will be sent on Monday next week, but then they will actually receive a reminder 3 days after if they haven't already created their account. And then 7 days after that date, they will receive the last one. So this shows you that there is 3 emails being sent. And if you want to see how they actually look for the students, what they are encouraged to do, and how the CTAs are and so forth, you'll be able to see that if you press this send me sample emails, you will receive all 3 emails, just to sort of being able to see what how it looks for the students. And you can, of course, give it some type of email signature here, so they know exactly how to reach you guys if needed. All you got to do after you've imported the list is that you press next step. But I can't do that since I haven't anything here, so I will just say yours truly. But I probably shouldn't be able to do it still because I have not imported a list. But you get the sentiment. It's very easy to do here, and it's something that we see a lot of traction when universities actually do this, because it's a very, very easy way to get your students to sign up without having to spend hours and hours nudging them into actually creating their account. So I would definitely recommend that you have a look at this here. If you don't know how to do it, or if you haven't already had this possibility of pre-registering students, reach out to your success manager and they will make sure that that is enabled for you guys. Then let's have a look at the appointments module. So appointments is really, really good for all of these conversations that we need to have with the students. Like, it could be regarding their career, it could be regarding how to set up a good CV, it could be all sorts of things. And what you can do here, if you have the appointments module enabled, is that you can actually add a new availability slot. For instance, I could say that I'm available tomorrow from, let's say, from 2 to 4:30. And then you can actually set up, okay, what type of appointment type should it be? Should it be career goals? Should it be alumni mentoring? You can set up all of these different appointment types in the settings up here in the appointment types. So you can set up basically, depending on, again, what you normally do. If you have any sort of new appointment types, you can always add them up there. You can manage the advisors, so you can add them simply by pressing add an advisor. And you can actually dedicate the appointment types to specific counselors or advisors simply by pressing the 3 buttons over here. And you can actually also target the programs. So for instance, we have some universities who say, okay, for instance, we don't want our MBA students to be able to book the appointments that is necessarily meant for our bachelors. You can always do that here, which means that those targeted programs will be the only ones being able to actually book them. The ones who aren't picked here won't even be able to see them. So that's a really nice way to sort of specify, okay, how do we use our time? Who is the ones who should be able to book in what types of appointments and so forth. And just to have like a good, feedback circle, we have the opportunity where you can actually gather student feedback as well, which will be monitored in the statistics module. And you can actually also put in a satisfaction form if you want that very, very easily here. In the settings, you can always put in a welcome message. Again, apologies if I get it French. We are, after all, a French company, but you can put in here whatever you want to have there. You can do these translations if you want to have that set up as well. Very, very easily. You just do the changes and you press save changes. Good. We can always get back to any specific questions in the Q&A. I just wanted to show you how it looks for the students. So in this case here, I am now logged in as a student. I'm told, hi, tools, boost your profile, get noticed, because I've only filled in 25% of my profile. So this is our way to sort of nudge the students into not only just creating their account and then forget about it. If I press the complete my profile, I am redirected here where I can see very, very easily, okay, yes, I've uploaded my CV, great, but I actually have criteria that I can improve. So I can see these specific criteria here if you have the AI CV checker enabled for a for a career center. If you haven't already had that enabled, again, reach out to your success manager and they will help you out in terms of setting this up. But this is a really good way for me as a student to be able to see, okay, I haven't added, for instance, my spoken languages. I haven't added a LinkedIn profile, availability, professional photo, and so forth. One thing that is really, really good about these criteria here is that you can actually pick and choose. You can set it up specifically for what you think makes a good CV. So this here is just a very generic, very basic sort of setup in terms of what do JobTeaser thinks should be in a good CV. I can also see that, hey, I haven't I haven't picked an education yet. I can do that here. I can also sort of search for the specific job preferences that I'm looking for. I might not be looking for a full-time job. If I was just started on my bachelor's, I might be looking for a student job. I would be able to set that up here. And lastly, I can of course add my spoken languages here, which is a good way to sort of stand out to recruiters. Because if you are, let's say, if you're studying in Copenhagen, of course you speak Danish and English, but you might also be speaking German, or you might always also be speaking Swedish. All of these specific languages is something that the recruiters are interested in if they have a position, say in Malmö in Sweden or in Berlin. So this here is something that we encourage all students to fill in to whatever sort of degree that they are actually comfortable sharing that, hey, I might not be the best at Spanish, even though I was there for 3 months being a tour guide like 5 years ago. But I do talk it to some degree, right? By all means, add all of these different languages because you are able to say, okay, this is just elementary, or it is like a proper professional working proficiency, or it is actually like full professional. Always good to have that set up as a student as well. If I go back to the homepage, that was my profile as a student. I can see that I have not been that active, right? I haven't set up a specific search for jobs. I haven't saved any jobs. I haven't sent any applications, and I haven't signed up for any events. So this is a good way just for the students to monitor their actual sort of, activity level. It's also something that you can sort of nudge them like, hey, by all means, like do like send some applications, set up your searches and so forth. And I can really, really quickly here as a student see, okay, if I need to book an appointment, for instance, since I haven't sent any applications, like I don't know how to write a good cover letter, I can book an appointment for that. I can go into the knowledge center to look at your guides, perhaps if you already have that, like showcasing good examples of cover letters or CVs or whatever it might be. I can see suggested events based on me as a student, and I can see these specific jobs that is tailored to me in terms of this would probably be what you're most interested in. And of course, if you have partner companies set up for your career center, you can see them here. It's something that we like really really tell universities when they ask us, like, by all means use these different partner enablements there is, because if a partner company, say for instance, again, if it's in Denmark, if it's legal that you're collaborating with, why not give them a partner tag, because it just makes them that more visible to your students. So they it's easier for them to sort of see the specific opportunities, whether it be an internship or full-time position or student job or whatever it might be. And then there is lastly the news, where you can sort of see, okay, different articles from companies or from JobTeaser. Like, so if I'm a student, I probably need to search for a job. Currently, we don't have a lot of jobs because it's a test environment. But what we actually sort of provide with the search tab up here is that it's actually pretty good at looking for keywords. Because a lot of students, when I'm out at the career fairs, students say, well, I have this perhaps niche sort of job that I want to do. I want to be a drone pilot, right? And they say, there's no drone pilot jobs for me. And then I often ask them, like, did you search for the specific like function or the specific, job name, and they say, yeah, I searched for that and it didn't work. That's because some companies don't necessarily write that as the, the actual function that they're going to fill in. It could be marketing associate if it was something related to drones, photography, or it could be, photographer. So I often tell students, instead search for keywords. If you have something where okay, within this type of business or within this type of function, they usually write a specific keyword, search for that. So in this case, for instance, if I wanted to do like, I don't know if I just want to do sales, for instance, right? I'm a business major. I want to do sales after my studies. I can just write sales, search for that. And now I have 19 jobs instead. I can do it even more. I can say sales, but I actually would love to work in Germany because ich spreche ein bisschen Deutsch. Then you can just type in sales Germany, and now you have 3 jobs. So in that regard, the keywords is pretty smart in the way that you can actually very easily and very quickly see, okay, what is actually my possibilities only based on keywords rather than specific like filters and whatnot. I just see that there's a notification here, so I'll just check if I'm missing something. Martin Wissers. My question is, can you also see the statistics for your own university, like jobs that were activated? Yes, you can see that, Martin. You just have to go to either the jobs module or the statistics. You will be able to see them there specifically. I hope you are still in the webinar, but otherwise I'll reach out to you afterwards. Great. So this is the way that students can search for different jobs. One thing that I want to mention is just everything that you do search-wise as a student, you can save this information. Like you can save this specific search. So if it was sales Germany, and I don't want to do this search, even though it's only 2 words, let's say I'm a bit of a lazy student, I can just save this search here. And I can actually get notified by email when there is new opportunities related to this here. So very easy to do for the students, and you can have several. You can have a lot of different searches saved. So it's very easy to use as a student, depending on what your need is and what you're looking for. I can see the events very easily again to sort of see, okay, what's coming up. Again, we don't have a lot of events here since it is the test environment. And the same goes for our companies. Even though we have a lot, you might have more, you might have fewer. That's perfectly fine. But you are able to sort of see as a student, if we just look at JobTeaser, for instance, like, okay, inside the company, what do we do? We actually have some jobs available. We have a short presentation in a video. We have some text and whatnot. We have an FAQ. And this is actually something that you can help your strategic partners to set up in terms of there is a preset of criteria that they need to fit in, but there's always more that they can sort of dive into. And I would, of course, suggest to them that they really sort of go into this in detail, because the more they put in, the more the students can read about them, the more perhaps engagement they will get, since we can see that the more content that the companies have on the company page, the more applicants and the more traction they have in terms of having followers as students like literally stating, okay, if this was the case, like I want to know every time that JobTeaser posts a new job. So they can put in all of these, like, for instance, like gender parity, they can see the average age and so forth. And also if you have any CSR commitments, which is something that Gen Z in particular, as you all well know, is very keen about sort of working for companies that are prioritizing that. So that's a great way for the companies that you work with to sort of position them in a good way, so they will sort of stand out to their own competitors. And lastly, the toolbox, we've already been here, but I just wanted to show you that, yes, you can head into the appointments and book something there. You can go into the knowledge center, what is for in your back office called the resources. You can go into insights as well, which is pretty cool. So insights is, if you know other platforms such as Fishbowl or Glassdoor, it's where students can actually see, okay, what have other students of mine or my sort of co-students, what have they written about specific companies? So in this case, Jerome have worked at Patati City, and it was in a fixed term position. And then if it had if it was a real insight, you would be able to sort of see his evaluation, the good parts, the not so good parts, how the recruitment process was, how it was actually like outside of work in terms of like how's the lifestyle, how does it feel, how was the culture, the compensation, and some more sort of indicators over here on how Prodigy City was actually treating him in terms of, like cooperation and benevolence and so forth. Um, so that's a really, really good way for students to be able to sort of see before they apply for a job at a specific company. Okay, how is that place like? Is it actually something where they promise us the moon, and then when you get there, they don't even get your rocket? So a great way for students to sort of do some preliminary work before they send out anything for companies. There is also the Career Explorer here. If you haven't already heard about that from your success manager, by all means, reach out to us because there is a lot of gold here for the students specifically. There is from the get-go more than 25 hours of content from JobTeaser, so all different kinds of courses, sort of whether or not you want to learn your better understand yourself better as a student, if you want to sort of take different personality tests and so forth. There's so much to sort of get from the Career Explorer. It's made by industry experts, so we've really sort of taken all of the best of the bests in terms of creating this opportunity for the students. So it's something that we're really proud of, and something that I would definitely recommend that you sort of explore with your success manager. If we look further on the other tools here, you can see that there is a part where you can actually put in some data of your own, like in terms of understanding who is our sort of career team who like supports the students at your university. You can have advice, you can see the different job roles, and you can do these tests, either the Freya test, the Marco, the Basco, or the Hester. And these all support your students understanding themselves better in terms of, okay, what actually motivates you at work? What sectors would perhaps be the right fit for you? Vasco, like I like this line here, explore the Tinder of jobs, and Hester in terms of identifying your soft skills. So great ways for your students to be supported without you having to set up either, for instance, an appointment or anything else. They can do this at their own time. So again, something that I would highly recommend you to look at with your success manager. That was actually it for the student view. There's, of course, like the account settings and so forth, but I won't bore you with that. That's primarily for the students. You can always check this out, if you go into my account and then just press student/alumni view. Great. So this was the back and the front office demo. And now I want to head back to the slideshow. Great. So you might already have seen this, but we recently sort of created this new brand for JobTeaser in terms of we used to have our old slogan, and now we have this amazing new one, JobTeaser, our young grads got talent. We truly believe that all of the students on JobTeaser and in your career centers are really magnificent in what they do, and they have a lot of potential, and we want to promote that to the employers. So this new tagline of the Career Hub of Schools and Universities and Europe's leading platform for recruiting young talent is what we do. Our, most important job is to help your students going forward in their career. And we're so pleased to see that a lot of universities have already sort of adapted to this here in terms of using the different content that we provide. I really like these 4 user stories that we have. For instance, here, like Noah doesn't yet know the ropes of a job interview, but he ran an interview podcast for 2 seasons. Or Lily has never made a project timeline, but she single-handedly produced a short film that was screened at a student festival. The students of yours already have a lot of competencies and they already have a lot of skills, but they haven't necessarily done it in a professional manner, like in a job. But they've done it on their own time and they have this experience already. So why not promote that? All of this content here is available to you. Simply reach out to your success manager and they can send you a direct download link. And you can use this for whatever you want to do, like internally or externally. It's just a great way for you to sort of really let the students of yours know that we already know that you have a lot to offer to companies, whatever type of possibility that you are looking for. So yeah, Job Teaser, our Young Grads Got Talent, is something that we're really proud to present. And now, you might already have heard about this, but we are rolling out some new premium features. So first of all, without having any sort of misunderstandings, our mission is that our goal is to support the students' employability across Europe, not only in a specific region, but across Europe. And what this means is that, of course, what you use today will always be free of charge. We're never going to charge you for the features that you have today. We simply believe that we need to develop even more, features and modules in order to sort of help you guys with what you need assistance with. For instance, we have the Career Explorer if you don't have any e-learning modules already. We have all of these different sort of new products that is a really, really good fit. And if we look at specifically sort of why we do this, it is to adopt our model into your needs. Instead of having a one solution fits all, we want to have it sort of, you need guidance with one specific topic. Okay, let's look into a premium feature. For instance, if it was e-learning, then Career Explorer. Um, and it is to sort of improve what you already have today, and at the same time sort of have you being the control of what you actually offer your students, instead of just having everything going out to everyone at once. So this is basically about developing new ways for you to interact with your students or with companies, or how you actually work internally already. And this is just a great way for actually having what you need at hand. And it is a premium offering, so there is a price related to these new features. But again, it's at a entry level where everyone can sort of follow along, and it's not something outrageous in terms of what it will cost you on an annual basis. So we've heard from a lot of universities that they want to integrate even more. This could, for instance, be a CRM tool for alumni. It could be something regarding analytics for your business partners. It can be regarding having your students engage even more with your career center, or it could be something completely new. And we offer this, optional premium services for your needs, how when they evolve down the road. And it is something that you can be totally flexible about. It is set up as a la carte model, as we put it. So it is something that we can customize for you. It's the features that you need, and it's something that is, not something that you need to jump on today. But if you see in a month or a few months or half year time that you need to adopt these specific features, it's something that we have ready for you off the shelf. And it's really, really sort of the pricing depends on if you want to say, okay, we want to sign up for this for 2 years or 3 years or 1 year. There is some specific multi-year commitment discount, so to speak. And it is very, very transparent, since it is everything is available for everyone at the same price. So if we look at sort of how this is set up, we have three major brackets or packages, as we call it. We have the corporate relationships, primarily, for your business partners and for your external sort of strategic partners. We have the career one, which is more for you internally, how you can sort of enhance either career services or something like that. And we have the student experience, so how they can actually feel a sort of more personalized experience based on their usage of JobTeaser. And if we have a look at the specific ones in the core version, as mentioned, which will always be free, you have the job ads, as you know today, companies, events, resources, talent bank, appointments, insight, event alerts, talents, SSO, statistics, and email campaigns. We'll never change that. If we look at the corporate package, what can that actually bring to light? There is the advanced talent connect, for instance, with analytics that is already available. We have the talent match for unis, which will be out in March 2026, which is an enhanced way of doing shortlists. We have the on-demand advanced data insights that is already available as well. So if partners of yours comes and says, hey, we need to create this report internally for how we collaborate with you guys, we can help you out with that. If we look at the career package, the one meant for you specifically as the career services team, we have the Career Explore already available. We have the appointment two-way sync, which is pretty neat in terms of if you have appointments enabled. If you use Outlook, for instance, right, and you get an appointment booked by a student, that will automatically sync with your Outlook. So you can see, oh, on Thursday, I have an appointment with the student regarding checking the CV and talking about their next steps in their career from 10 to 12. So a great way to just have that run simultaneously without you having to check two places to see the appointments. We have something very interesting called the IIS internship agreement system, which is available in Spain currently. It's to be decided when it's going to be rolled out for like the other markets as well. But it is a really, really great way of handling those internships since it can be somewhat of a challenge sometimes. And we're really, really looking forward to enabling this for the rest of Europe. We have the talent premium or CIM system, which will be decided when we can sort of offer you that. And then we have something that is really, really interesting for me for the students specifically. We have the personalized platform optimization. This is something, we all use social media and we all use these apps that is basically, personalized to us depending on our engagement and how we use whatever platform. And this will be the same thing. So if the students are perhaps not even necessarily looking at jobs, but they're looking at events primarily, or they're looking at whatever sort of tests you have in your toolbox, if they use that continuously, right, that will be what they see when they log in. This also means that if you have a specific module, or if you have a specific feature that you really want to highlight, you can actually have that customized so it's part of the top bar. So instead of having just four, modules at the top for the students, you will actually be able to update that depending on your needs. There's also the option for third parties integration starting in January 2026. There is new user and new APIs that is already available. And we already have the job ad liquidity with a crawler set up, so you can enhance that if you want to create something in terms of having that crawler set up for specific websites or for yourself and so forth. So this is all really interesting. It's a lot right now, I understand. But if you have any like burning needs right now, or you really, really need to sort of look into let's say, the appointments two-way sync, by all means, reach out to your success manager and they will sort of sort you out in terms of setting up the scope for you guys and getting that up to speed. So now I want to leave the presentation here and instead go into the chat here and start the Q&A. So any questions, guys? Again, I always like to say there is no stupid questions, only stupid answers. So you shouldn't hold back by any means. I see someone is typing here. Okay, so Victoria, you ask, hi, thank you for the presentation. My pleasure. Regarding the new packages, could you explain a bit better the internship agreements section? Um, To be totally honest, I can't go into too much detail right now because it is all in Spanish, what I've seen. Yo hablo un poco español, but not that well. So if you are a university in Spain right now, I would definitely reach out to your success manager in terms of understanding the possibilities in that regard. When it is something that we are going to, roll out for the rest of Europe, we will definitely send some information out to you guys. So, either in the newsletter or in dedicated emails and so forth during our meetings as well. So right now I can't explain too much of the IIA in terms of I haven't been part of that, to be totally honest, since I am located in the Nordics. My pleasure. Any more questions, guys? All right, then I will just quickly show you guys where you can see the previous recordings that I mentioned. I will just post the link in the chat here because there might be some, um, you know, previous recordings for something that you are specifically looking for. It's also where you can sign up actually for our upcoming webinars. Our next one, the link is here, by the way. The next one we have scheduled is for December, which will probably be regarding even more product news. So Victoria, I will probably be able to share a bit more regarding the IIS. But by all means, if you sort of go into the site that I've just posted in the chat now, you can see the previous recordings and you can sort of subscribe to the one that we have set up for December already. Shannon is writing something here. Shannon, the slides will not be sent, but I will make a note to, is there anything in particular that you are interested in here? Because it is, it was a bit demo more than anything else. But I will reach out to you specifically afterwards to see what you were curious about. And we can touch base in that regard. Any other questions? All right. I will make sure that the video that we done today, or the webinar that we've done today, will be available on the link there. Again, if there is any questions whatsoever, guys, please reach out to us. We are literally here to help you, not only using JobTeaser, but to make your lives easier. So let us know if there's anything that we can support you with. And I hope that you all want to sign up for our next webinar in December. And besides that, I just want to say again, thank you so much for joining today. I hope you have a lovely day, and I hope that we will see you in the next webinar. So thank you so much for today.